Hello and welcome to another edition of On-Site Composting. I'm your host Drew. Today is March 28th. It's a Saturday, 2026, and we are starting a brand new compost bin, new Earth Machine, 80-gallon Earth Machine. It's here on the far left. We've got almost a full 5-gallon bucket here of food waste from home, and I've got 2 containers here from my work. And let's go ahead and dive right in. So yeah, we filled this bin up probably, I think it was last week. The one over there that you see kind of in a little teepee bamboo area, that one's filled up probably filled up maybe a month ago, and now we're on our 3rd one. So this I did not lock, and we've got a little friend here, the spider. You can probably see him. Hello, spider. I'm gonna respect your space and just set you off to the side here. And here's our new situation here. And I'm noticing something fell down. I've got a couple of kale leaves in here, and all right, and we're back. And so yeah, we've got a little potato there. The kale leaves and this stick. I'm gonna pick up the stick. The stick is supposed to be kind of providing a little wedge here. Let me see if I can get this to wedge. This little grate is keeping out the rodents. It got chewed a while back, so I just kind of put a little grate there, and I am kind of wedging it in there so that it'll hold this, so that there's no you'll notice on this side I didn't have to do that because it's tight. I did a little wedge here, okay, or not a wedge but a little tie, and it's holding, so it'll keep the rodents out. It's really important for these systems, and this is an older one, so it got some rodent pressure on it. All right, so yeah, let's dive in. I'm just gonna try to avoid putting a lot of weight on this. And so we've got our full 5-gallon bucket, and you'll notice we put some cap material on top. This is finished compost, but it hasn't been screened, and so we just use that to cover up the food waste as it fills in the bucket. I'm gonna have to pause it because I can't do this with one hand. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So we dumped that 5-gallon bucket container of food waste, and now I'm gonna spread it. And you know what? I think I'm gonna have to figure out something else for this little grate problem. I don't think it's gonna work to have that stick there. As you can tell, it just easily collapsed on me. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. And so when you have one of these systems, again, if this is the first time you're here, what we do is when we dump the material, we spread it. So you want to get a good thin layer of food waste, and then you want to cap that layer with finished compost. And let's see here. Yeah, so we're getting a nice little thin layer. Handy dandy stick here to spread it. And so there's our fresh food waste, and because there's quite a bit of food waste on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and cap this, and then I'm going to put the smaller amount of food waste in the little containers here. So I have a little bio stack that we got from Matthew's piano teacher, and it has a lot of finished compost in it. It's been unscreened. Also some paper waste, which I'm just gonna go ahead and put in here, which is also fair game for composting. Recycle a little pot here, so I'll use that as my scooper. There's a bunch of like sticks and stuff in here that make it a little bit harder to get the material. Probably gonna just do a couple of container fulls here. And just trying to get a really thin layer of finished compost on top. And you know, if you don't have this material, if you don't have finished compost, that's okay. You can use topsoil, like you just buy like a really cheap bag of topsoil from Home Depot or Ace Hardware or wherever you go for plants, nurseries, and yeah, you'll just use that as your cap material. You also use regular soil. The soil tends to be really heavy, so that can make your compost, your finished compost, kind of heavy, but it works just as well. This is an old brush pile. I sometimes use just old leaves, old grass clippings. That also provides a good cap material. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and dump our food waste for our work. Not much in this container. You can see it's there's some mango, some orange, some apple cores. So put that in. Rinse this out later. Set that off to the side. Let's see how our spider friend's doing. It's probably freaked out. Spider, yeah, he's still, or she, or they're still hanging out. Okay. And here's our other work container. Let's go ahead and dump that one. Okay, a little bit more citrus and coffee grounds, banana peels. Down the hatch. We'll rinse that out later. Okay. Alright, I'll do a little bit of spreading on this guy. Okay, I'll do maybe just a couple more additions to the compost bin. And almost there. I think that's probably going to be good. It's also, you notice there's a lot of citrus, and the citrus can get pretty moldy sometimes, so I do like to cover that. So I think I'll do one more. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. That's our first addition. All right, first addition to this Earth Machine compost bin. Let's gently put the lid on, and we're gonna line up our arrows. So you can see a little arrow there. There's an arrow there. So you're lining those up, and I can't do it with just one hand, but you lock it this way. You just gently twist it over, and that's our first addition. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Again, March 28th, 2026, Saturday, our first edition. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, this is Drew with On-Site Composting.